You've been lied to about Australia. It's not just beaches, kangaroos, and a big red rock in the middle of nowhere. No, this country hides wonders that even Google Maps can't do justice. What if I told you there's an island made entirely of sand, a reef visible from space, and cliffs that whisper stories older than time itself? And yet, most travelers barely scratch the surface. Australia isn't a trip, it's a transformation. While everyone else is lining up at the Opera House, there are ancient rainforests, pink lakes, and desert skies so clear they look fake, just waiting to blow your mind. But here's the twist. The real magic isn't in postcards. It's in the places the brochures don't show you. The kind of places where your soul says, This is what I came for. And today, you're about to discover them. A land of extremes and contrasts. Australia isn't just a place on the map. It's a whole other world tucked away in the southern hemisphere. You're talking about a land so vast, it spans 3 time zones and wraps itself in contrasts that leave travelers speechless. One minute you're surfing the turquoise waters of Bondi Beach. The next you're staring at red sand stretching into eternity in the Outback. It's where tropical jungles breathe the same air as arid deserts. And somehow it all makes sense, because that's the nature of Australia travel. Now here's something to chew on. Australia has over 10,000 beaches. That means if you visited a new one every single day, it would take you nearly 30 years to see them all. Let that sink in. From the remote shores of Cape Tribulation to the bustling surf scene at Manly Beach, each slice of sand tells its own story. Whether you're seeking quiet sunrise moments or lively beach volleyball games, there's always a place waiting. But don't get caught thinking Australia is all coastline and cool drinks. About 40% of its land is covered in desert. Imagine that. These aren't lifeless stretches either. The Simpson, Gibson, and Great Victoria deserts are filled with spiritual depth and ancient Aboriginal stories etched in stone. Real wanderers know the magic isn't just in the landscapes, but in the silence, the stargazing, the stillness. A camper van and a sense of curiosity, that's your golden ticket to adventure tourism. Even in the cities, contrast is king. Sydney's skyline is brushed with steel and glass, yet just a ferry ride away, you'll find cliffs, forests, and ocean blues. Melbourne feels like Europe met punk rock, while Perth delivers the vibe of a cultural island on the edge of the world. These aren't just stops on a map, they're chapters of a journey that blends extremes like no other. Extraordinary wildlife population. Australia's animal kingdom feels like something straight out of a fantasy book. Imagine walking through a park and spotting kangaroos chilling under trees like it's no big deal. With an estimated 50 million kangaroos bouncing across the country, they actually outnumber people 2 to 1. It's wild, literally. And it doesn't stop there. 150 million sheep roam the fields, playing their part in the rural charm of the land. But it's not just about numbers, it's about uniqueness. Roughly 80% of Australia's fauna is found nowhere else on Earth. That's right. Koalas, platypuses, wombats, and echidnas are exclusive locals. You're not just seeing wildlife, you're meeting creatures that seem designed by a playful creator with a wild imagination. If you're planning an Australia travel journey, pencil in a visit to a sanctuary like Lone Pine in Brisbane or Featherdale near Sydney. You'll never forget the experience of hand-feeding a kangaroo or seeing a baby wombat snuggle into a blanket. And here's the kicker. These animals aren't tucked away in some hidden valley. They're integrated into everyday life. You might catch a possum perched on a fence in Melbourne or see emus trotting along the roadside in the Outback. Wildlife isn't an exception here, it's the rule, so keep your camera ready. There's a gentle wisdom in how Australians view their wildlife. Part awe, part responsibility. And if you're lucky enough to witness the balance of life out here, you'll begin to understand the quiet rhythm of the land. Deadly and mesmerizing creatures, let's be real. When someone mentions Australia, the phrase "everything there wants to kill you" usually pops up. And while that's not totally fair, there's a grain of truth buried in the humor. Australia is home to 10 of the world's top 20 most venomous snakes. Yep, you read that right. The inland taipan alone could send a shiver down your spine, and it's not the only one lurking in the tall grass. But fear not, the beauty of these creatures lies not in danger, but in evolution's creativity. Think about the box jellyfish, elegant, translucent, and deadly. Or the saltwater crocodile, which can grow up to 20 feet and dominate the waterways of the north. They're not monsters, they're masterpieces of survival. And there's an odd sense of thrill in knowing you're surrounded by these incredible, sometimes intimidating animals. It's part of what makes Australia such an exotic destination. Want a safe brush with danger? Head to the Australian Reptile Park or Cairns Aquarium. You'll see these stunning creatures up close, without the risk. That's adventure tourism done right. There's a strange harmony in the land where danger and beauty share the same stage. And while it might sound dramatic, that very tension is what draws so many curious souls to explore further. The Great Barrier Reef and Ningaloo Reef beneath the turquoise waves of the Coral Sea lies one of the greatest natural spectacles on Earth, the Great Barrier Reef. Stretching over 1,400 miles, this underwater city of color and life is so vast you can see it from space. Think about that, a living organism visible from the heavens teeming with thousands of marine species. Snorkeling or diving here isn't just an activity, it's a spiritual experience. And yet there's a quieter cousin on the west coast that deserves just as much love, Ningaloo Reef. Unlike the Great Barrier Reef, Ningaloo sits right off the beach, making it accessible even if you're not a certified diver. Here you can glide beside graceful manta rays or swim alongside whale sharks, the gentle giants of the sea. It's one of the most humbling, unforgettable things you'll ever do. But these aren't just pretty places, they're fragile ecosystems under threat, and knowing that brings a deeper purpose to your visit. Travel tips here go beyond sunscreen and fins. They include choosing eco-friendly operators, respecting marine life boundaries, and supporting conservation initiatives. Whether you're floating above coral gardens or watching a sea turtle nest on shore, these moments shift your perspective. They remind you that the world still holds magic, iconic landscapes, and cities. Few places weave natural splendor in modern marvels quite like Australia. Start in Sydney, where the Sydney Opera House stands like a sail catching dreams. Nearby, the harbor invites you to stroll the Royal Botanic Garden or catch a ferry to Manly. In one morning, you can sip flat whites in a buzzing cafe and swim in emerald waters. That's not travel, that's living art. Then there's the mysterious Blue Mountains just a couple of hours west. Mist swirls around the Three Sisters Rock Formation as if whispering ancient stories to anyone who dares to listen. Walk the scenic trails, hear the echo of birdsong, and breathe in eucalyptus-scented air. It's a living painting, perfect for slow travel and soul-searching. Let's talk islands, specifically the Whitsundays. These 74 islands are strung like pearls along the Coral Sea, boasting silica sands so white they blind in the sun. Take a helicopter ride over Heart Reef or sail through turquoise currents that look photoshopped. This is Australia travel at its most cinematic. Oh, and don't forget Melbourne, where laneways burst with murals, live music pours from underground bars, and every corner offers world-class coffee. From the Daintree Rainforest's prehistoric hush to the drama of the Great Ocean Road's limestone cliffs, from Brisbane's urban beach vibe to Ullaru's sacred silence. Every city and region whispers something unique. Cultural and historical gems. Beneath the buzz of modern Australia lies a rich layer of history that pulses through its capital cities and ancient lands. Take Canberra, often overlooked but full of depth. Here, politics meet artistry. The National Gallery of Australia showcases Indigenous art that spans millennia, brushstrokes older than the pyramids. It's a living dialogue between past and present, silent yet powerful. Adelaide is another quiet treasure. It's a city of cathedrals, music festivals, and gateway to the sacred lands of the Anang people. Spend an afternoon walking through the South Australian Museum or catching a didgeridoo performance under a starlit sky. These aren't just cultural offerings, they're encounters with the soul of the country. But history doesn't always sit in buildings or on pedestals. Some of the most compelling narratives are etched into rock. Aboriginal rock art sites in Kakadu or Arnhem Land hold knowledge older than any book. These are not just drawings, they're spiritual maps, ancestral teachings, and memory keepers. Treat them with reverence. The wisdom they hold is vast. It's this blend of ancient legacy and modern storytelling that gives Australia its quiet power. Wines, cuisine, and living history. When most people think of Australia, wine might not be their first thought, but it should be. The Barossa Valley, Yarra Valley, and Margaret River are producing wines that rival the best of France and Italy. Picture sipping a bold Shiraz with kangaroo steak, overlooking rolling vineyards that stretch toward the sea. It's indulgent, but oh so grounding. This is where luxury meets authenticity. And the food, it's a blend of everything Australia is. Diverse, bold, and rooted in nature. From indigenous bush tucker like wattle seed and finger lime, to global influences like Vietnamese banh mi in Melbourne or Greek souvlaki in Adelaide, your taste buds go on a journey of their own. You don't just eat in Australia, you explore. For food lovers, these aren't just meals, they're memories. What's fascinating is how food and wine become tools for storytelling here. Local chefs don't just cook, they connect you to the land. Whether it's a seafood platter in Tasmania or a Barbie with friends in the Outback, every bite feels like a piece of heritage. Underrated and surreal locations. Let's start with Kimberley, a corner of Australia that feels more like Mars than Earth. Towering red cliffs, waterfalls that seem to defy gravity, and ancient rock formations older than logic itself. Very few places on the planet offer this kind of untouched wilderness. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you're after true adventure tourism, this is your playground. Then there's Fraser Island, technically called Kagari, the largest sand island on Earth. And yes, you can drive across it in a 4WD like you're in a desert rally. Here, freshwater lakes shine like mirrors, and dingoes trot along the beach like they own the place. It's bizarre, magical, and bucket list travel gold. And don't skip Phillip Island. It might seem small, but once you witness the nightly penguin parade, your heart will melt. Little blue penguins, yes, that's a real thing, waddle home from the ocean in a scene that feels straight out of a Pixar movie. If that doesn't convince you that nature's still full of wonder, nothing will. Finish with Flinders Ranges and the Eyre Peninsula, where hiking trails lead to stargazing spots so pure, you'll swear you've left the modern world behind. Whale watching, salt flats, wild coastlines. Each frame feels like a movie set. These underrated places are proof that the true Australia isn't just in the guidebooks, it's in the moments that take your breath away. So now that you've seen Australia like never before, what's stopping you from living it for real? Are you gonna settle for generic vacations, or are you ready to explore the surreal, the sacred, and the unseen? The truth is, most people never get to feel the raw pulse of a place like this, but you just got the map. The question is, will you follow it? Imagine the stories you could tell, the photos you could take, the clarity you might find beneath a sky full of stars in the Outback. Which part of Australia lit a fire in you? Was it the reef, the rainforests, or maybe those places nobody talks about? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear what called your name. And hey, maybe it's time to answer that call. If this guide expanded your perspective, even just a little, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. This channel is where discovery never ends, and adventure is always just one video away.